Today, I will be reviewing Alien Resurrection. Now, first off, this movie is just, well, it goes all over the place. Now, I do not like the third movie. Well, if you watch that review, then you know I do not like that third movie. But this movie, I didn't like that much, but I will say that this movie, in my opinion, is better than the third movie. This movie, it wasn't, it was just bad, but it wasn't as bad as part 3, so yeah. But this movie takes place like far out in the future, like around 200 years later, in 200 years after the events of, Alien Free in the year 2381. Oh my god, this movie takes place in 2381. That is crazy. And heads up is that, remember that Ripley died in Alien Free? Well, guess what? She is now a clone in Alien Free. Yup, Ripley is now a clone with Xenomorph abilities, so that's pretty crazy. Now, yes, the real Ripley is still dead from, Alien Free, but this Ripley is just a clone, so, yeah, this movie is just one heck of a mess, I will say. But, let me review this movie. Now we open up the movie with Brad Dourif, and if you don't know Brad Dourif, you should know Brad Dourif, because he is the voice of Chucky. Yup, Brad Dourif, this guy right here, is the voice of Chucky, and he is in Alien Resurrection. And then we get to see the chest burster. Well, that's pretty cool, because I think the chest bursters in this franchise are pretty cool. And then after that, they take out the chest burster, as I just shown. And then they put in, this little, tube thing. And then we get to see Ripley. But yes, like I said, Ripley is dead from Alien Free. But we get to see the clone of Ripley, called Ripley 8. Now, apparently, I think it's called Ripley 8 because, they, were trying to make clones of Ripley, but they failed. So this is the 8th clone they made of Ripley. I don't know. It's confusing, but, I don't know. You can just, tell you could just tell that this whole thing is just so confusing. But yes, Ripley is dead, but this is a clone, just to make sure, so everyone just knows that. Soon, Ripley gets her eyes checked. I meant to say Ripley 8 gets her eyes checked, because it's a clone. And then we get to see a pretty cool shot of the Xenomorph, so that's pretty cool. And then we get a goofy scene where the Ripley 8 clone is just smiling, which, that's pretty goofy. And then we get to see a bunch of other characters that are on this spaceship, and not gonna lie, I don't even remember most of their names. That's how much I just, don't remember most of their names. Except for Ripley 8. Of course I'll remember her name, because, of course, she's the main character of this movie. But, most of these characters, I just don't remember the names. I'll probably remember some of their names, but overall, Ripley 8, the clone, is just the only, name I'll probably know in this movie. You know what, I'll just introduce this character, since we do get to see a lot of her in this movie. Now, this character's name is Call, and, I don't know what to say about that, because it's, you're not calling someone on a phone. But yes, her character name is Call, and she's played by Winona Ryder, who is also in Beetlejuice. You know, I'm just very excited to, do a movie review on Beetlejuice. But first, I gotta do the Alien franchise, and the Predator franchise, so that Beetlejuice movie review will come out in the future. But I'm not talking about Beetlejuice, I'm talking about Alien Resurrection, so let me go back to this. Our next scene of this movie is that we're gonna see a bunch of these people around, these Xenomorph eggs, and, apparently they'll probably get, facehuggers on them, because that's how it usually goes in an Alien movie. We then get this random scene where Ripley 8 clone is doing basketball. That's pretty cool, I guess. And then after that we get this random scene where she's throwing the basketball around and at the other character, so that's pretty crazy. And then it's revealed that Ripley 8 is not just a clone. Well, she is a clone, but it's revealed that her blood is acid from, the Xenomorph. So, I guess that's pretty cool. As you can tell right here. And then we get a cool scene where Ripley 8 makes the basketball in the hoop. Yay! And then we get another cool shot of the Xenomorph. I never get tired of Xenomorphs in this franchise. They're just so amazing. Oh my god, Xenomorphs are just so cool. And then we get a random scene where Call goes up to Ripley 8 and puts a knife in her hand for, well, I really don't know why. It's just, yeah, just a knife in Ripley, 8's hand, which is, pretty random. Yeah, I don't know why there's a knife in Ripley 8's hand, that's pretty random. After that random scene, Call and Ripley 8 then have a talk.
Ellen Ripley died 200 years ago. You're not her. I'm not her.
Yup, she's a clone. For the 100th time, I actually said that. A thing I just don't understand about this movie is that why are there too many close-ups on the characters' faces? Like, what is this, an official music video or something like that? Later in the movie, we do get a cool kill where the Xenomorph uses his, like, tongue thing, and he, like, pushes a button while freezing a guy with liquid nitrogen, and then his arm comes off. Not gonna lie, a pretty cool kill, I must say. Then we get this other kill, which this guy named Perez, and he's like trying to act all cool and all. I mean, just look at him. He's just so serious. Like the Joker always says in The Dark Knight, why so serious? Yeah, seriously, why is he so serious? And then soon he dies from like his brain or something, from the Xenomorph like eating his brain or something. Wow, that's pretty gnarly, I must say. Ripley 8 then escapes her, like, jail cell or whatever it's called, and then she meets up with the other characters, which is pretty cool, I must say. We then get a creepy and disturbing scene in the movie while Ripley 8 goes in this other room and finds out that she had other clones, but they failed, so, yeah, she's the 8th clone. Yeah, it's downright disturbing. If you watch the movie, it's just, like, so disturbing. Well, that particular scene. We then get a cool scene where the Xenomorphs are swimming in the water. And, not gonna lie, I think it's kind of cool to change up the franchise and just have the Xenomorphs swimming in the water. I just think it's, like, a little more cooler, not gonna lie. The other characters then make it back up to the surface, and then it's revealed that there are Xenomorph eggs, and then it goes on Ripley 8, and then a bunch of the Xenomorph eggs end up exploding, which is, yeah, pretty crazy, I must say. Oh my god. And then Ripley 8 takes off the facehugger off her face, and then they make it all the way up to the surface, which is pretty good. So, good for them. Also, flashing lights warning for anyone who's sensitive. We get a scene where Call is then shot into water, which is pretty sad. We then get a cool scene where some Xenomorph acid is on Christie's face, which is just, well, pretty crazy. And then the Xenomorph then grabs onto Christie's leg, and then Christie panics that the Xenomorph is, like, on his, like, foot or leg or whatever's going on here. And then we get this crazy upside down shot where the Xenomorph then dies, which, yet again, is pretty crazy. And then Christie, like, wants to sacrifice himself because he can't take it anymore. And then he falls into the water, or whatever you call it. Oh my god, there are too many flashing lights in this scene. Just give it a break with the flashing lights. It's then revealed that Call is alive, but she's not a human. Call is an android. I mean, in my opinion, it's about that time that we get to see an android. And if I am correct, this is the first female android in the Alien franchise, if I am correct. Which is pretty cool, I must say, because most of the androids were male, so this is actually pretty cool. Yay! I'm glad to see an android again in this Alien franchise. Oh my god, this is just so amazing! Oh my god! Okay. Maybe I should just chill down. Ripley 8 and then Call have a little talk about, like, random stuff or something. I don't really know, man, but they are having just, like, this random talk. We then get a very crazy kill when one of the characters is gonna have like a chest burster coming out of their stomach. But guess what? So, like, one of the characters puts their head near the chest, and then the chest burster comes out of the chest and out the other person's head. That is probably one of the most creative kills in this whole movie. Not gonna lie, one of my favorite kills in this movie. So, good job, Alien Resurrection. You know what you're doing with the kills. We then get to see Alien Queen, just like the sequel Aliens, which is pretty cool. The Alien Queen then has a child called the Newborn, which is just, ugh. I mean, look at this thing. Even Ripley 8 cannot even take it. I do not blame you, Ripley 8. The Newborn then comes up to Ripley's face and then, ugh. The Newborn then licks Ripley's face? What the heck? Oh my god, this is just very ugh. I mean, I could tell Ripley 8 is not having a good time. I would not eat her. But, I mean, I'm not complaining about the Newborn. I think it looks pretty cool, but I just wish it would have just looked like one of these Xenomorphs. But overall, I think it's a okay Xenomorph design, the Newborn. Remember Brad Dourif's character? Well, guess what? He's now trapped in this, disgusting looking alien thing. And then Brad Dourif's character then dies from the Newborn, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, probably another one of my favorite kills in this movie. Ripley 8 then escapes the Newborn, which is definitely a good idea. She then runs back on the ship because the other characters are about to take off the ship, going to Earth, which is pretty cool. But before they go to Earth, well, I mean, they're not going to Earth yet because we're not quite done with the movie just yet. Call then makes it downstairs, and then she is confronted by the Newborn, which, yeah, is pretty creepy. Ripley then kills the Newborn Xenomorph by sucking it out into space, which is downright crazy. And then the Newborn Xenomorph dies. There you go, Ripley. I'm not sure why Ripley 8 is crying. She should be proud because she never has to deal with that, well, newborn Xenomorph ever again. It's then revealed that there is another Xenomorph on the spaceship, but the ship where the Xenomorph is on then crash lands onto Earth, which results into a crazy explosion. Well, actually, it's not that crazy. Because this is the only explosion. It's not so great, but, well, we don't have to deal with those Xenomorphs ever again. Well, actually, that's actually a lie, because we will see the, well, normal Xenomorphs in the future films. But not the newborn Xenomorph. Well, at least I don't think so. Well, yeah, we don't have to. But anyways, moving on. Call and then Ripley 8 then make it to Earth, which, not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud for them. They deserve it. And I'm also glad that we get to see Earth, so that's pretty cool. Yay! And then that is the end of Alien Resurrection. So yeah, that is the end of me reviewing Alien Resurrection. I kind of had a fun time with this review. The reason why is because this movie it's not a good movie, but I don't know, it's just so ridiculous. And I just had a fun time reviewing this movie review. And not gonna lie, it's not a good movie, but for me, it's so bad it's good. It's just, I don't know, man. You could just call me controversial, but I don't know. I just had a good time reviewing this movie because it was just so crazy that it's just so bad it's good. Yeah, you could just call me controversial all you want, but overall, this was a crazy movie, and yeah, it just went all over the place with Ripley 8 being a clone because, well, we all know the original Ripley did die in Alien Free, so that's pretty crazy. A lot was going on in this movie. And, yeah. And then the next movie review will be Alien vs. Predator. I cannot wait to do that one. Oh boy, just wait until I review Alien vs. Predator Requiem. That movie is just, it's just a dark movie. And I don't mean like dark, like a dark ending. I mean like you can barely see the movie. That's gonna be quite some difficulties, but I don't have to worry about that yet, because the next movie review will be the normal Alien vs. Predator movie. The original. So, yeah, that will be the next one. And, yeah, that was a crazy movie. But so bad, that's just so crazy to love it. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, should probably get out of here. I mean, there's a face hugger here. Get out my face, you face hugger! God, get off my face! Don't mess with me. Is this gonna happen every time I review an alien movie? The Xenomorphs will come after me? Well, I guess that's how it's gonna be. Alright, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next movie review. Bye!